That's quite a swing in the first half. Welcome everybody. 69-61. The Pelicans. The Kings got off to a blistering start. They were up 15, right? They were up 15, and before you knew it, it was a 1-point game at the end of one quarter, and the Pelicans score 69 points and outscore the Kings 34-25 in that second quarter, 69-61 at the intermission. And, this is a Pelicans team that beat the Kings twice without CJ McCollum. McCollum is back tonight, and he scored 8. You look at the Kings box score. Sabonis had 16 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. Once again, Harrison Barnes not doing anything out there. Murray got off to a good start, and then he did nothing. Fox, very quiet, 3 of 11, all right, and only 3 assists. And here's the other part about Fox. He's got 5 turnovers in this game, all right? Thank goodness for Malik Monk off the bench, or this would be much more than an 8-point game. Brutal, absolutely brutal. 69-61 right now. And, it's not over, but you just wonder if the Kings they don't match up with this team. I mean, again, they came out like a house of fire, right? They came out blistering. And then it's done, Jerry Reynolds joining us here at the intermission. I hope I can hear Jerry. I'm on a different device tonight. Jerry, how are you?
Oh, good. I hear you good.
I mean, what a swing. The Kings are up 15, everything's rolling, and then before you know it, they're down by double digits, and they end up trailing 69-61. What stood out the most to you in that first half?
Well, I thought, just watching the broadcast on TNT, I thought Stan Van Gundy does a great job, and just said, when Alvarado and Marshall came in as Trey Murphy, they changed the game for the Pelicans. The defense picked up. Obviously, the Kings started getting sloppy with the ball. When the Pelicans really put defensive pressure out there, the Kings handled it very poorly. I mean, all kinds of careless turnovers. And then you add that to missed free throws, and also basically allowing the Pelicans to stay in the game in the first quarter by a bunch of just silly touch fouls, grab fouls. So, the good news is, Grant, I think, the last 2 minutes or so, or 3 before the half, the Kings were playing better than the Pelicans. So, it's the NBA, but, anyway, Pelicans are good. Pelicans are good.
They are good. And the Kings are seeing them with CJ McCollum, and he didn't play in the first 2 games. And he just gives that New Orleans team a completely different look and a new dimension.
Yeah, he's a natural leader, the veteran that's been there, done it. And, Trey Murphy didn't play in those 2 games.
That's right. Good point.
And I'd said at the time, Trey Murphy's really good. And
yep.
So yeah, that team healthy has got a lot of talent, and we're seeing it tonight. And the Kings, like I say, have got to make some adjustments. They've got to realize that you just can't be, you got to value the ball. The old, simply value possessions. They're certainly playing unselfish, but when you're getting a turnover for about every assist, that's going to lead you to losses.
Yeah, it's actually less than that. It's 16 assists and 10 turn. Well, I take that. Yeah, 16 and 10. So that's not a good assist to turnover ratio. Assist is very good. You get 16 assists a half. That's very good, but not when you turn the ball over like that. Once again, we keep on talking about Harrison Barnes. He played 20 minutes in that half. He only took 2 shots. He ends up with only 3 points, and he got a couple of rebounds. Doesn't have an assist. I just wonder what we expect from Harrison Barnes every night. I don't know anymore. I just don't know.
Well, no, that's the tough part, is because, you can see him have good games. He had 2 or 3 solid games in a row. And then now, half where he really isn't there. And especially with Keegan Murray in foul trouble, as well as maybe a bad back, you really have got to have Harrison. And then who else? Trey Lyles didn't get it going. Or Vezenkov, Sasha really wasn't a factor either. So I think you hit on it. Between all that group of 4 forwards, 2 of them have really got to play well in the second half for the Kings to have a chance.
Zion Williamson played 14 minutes and only had 2 points in that first half, a couple of rebounds. And, he's the guy that did so much damage in the two meetings in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think the Kings have done a nice job kind of walling him off, and he it hasn't really seemed very engaged. And I think to Willie Green's credit, the coach, he set him, just not going. And so that doesn't, with Zion, though, the scary part is, he is one of those guys that can go for 20 and 10 and a half. You just hope it doesn't happen this half.
All right, we appreciate everyone joining us here. Don't forget, post-game show is coming up following this game. 69-61 is the score at the half. Give us your predictions, folks. Put your final score up on the screen. Again, you got to keep in mind that this Pelicans team is good, and they seem to have favorable matchups against Sacramento. I mean, the fact that the Kings get 16 from Sabonis and they're still down by 8. I expect Fox to have a big half here. He's got to, Jerry. He wasn't himself. Talking about turnovers, he had 5 turnovers in that half. That's just way too many. That's uncharacteristic for Fox.
Yeah, really. And I think Alvarado had a lot to do with that. He's not used to small guys who are actually every bit as quick as he is. And he got him off balance a little bit. But I'm like you. I think Fox will adjust to this game and have a strong second half. And if he does, the Kings will have a chance to win. But it's going to take that. I mean, obviously, Sabonis is playing at a pretty high level, and Monk is playing at a high level. I mean, but, a few more guys got to join the parade. And I think, Fox is going to need to be the real De'Aaron Fox in the fourth for the Kings to win.
Ben Dover checking in from Ireland, watching the game with a few of my lads. A little disappointed in the second quarter. Cheers, Grant. We appreciate you staying up past the midnight hour, the wee hours of the morning over in Ireland. Thank you very much. 69-61 is where we're at right now. The Kings on this homestand have given up a lot of points in the first half. Back-to-back games, they gave up 72 points to the Warriors and then the Clippers. They came from behind to beat the Warriors, not as fortunate against the Clippers. And here we have 69. I mean, we can say anything you want about who's going to win the game, but it's not a recipe for success, especially on your home floor. The Kings are giving up way too many points in these games.
Yeah, just too many uncontested open shots. I mean, obviously this is NBA and these guys are highly skilled players, but certainly a lot of those threes that the Pelicans got really had time to sit on them. And then, of course, Ingram and guys, McCollum can go create shots. And of course, so I mean, you hit on it, though. The defense has just not been good enough. I mean, they have got to find a way to tighten it up, to take away some of those easy open opportunities. And if they do, they can be one of the best teams in the West. And if they don't, it's going to struggle.
Yep, they're 11-10 right now coming into this game, and they are coming off a loss to the Chicago Bulls, their last game out. And listen, there's a lot on the line here, all right? This is a knockout game and a tournament that I don't really care about, but the reality is that the players do, because if you end up going to Vegas and winning it, each player gets $500,000. I don't know about you, but Jerry, but that would make me be laser focused for our second half coming up.
That's real money back in French Lick, I just got to tell you. That's real money.
Uh-huh.
You just Jerry, you wouldn't have to try to tap the rest of your life with that.
Jerry, it's real money in Roseville too, okay?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It definitely changed Mrs. Reynolds' life. I have no doubt.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, what do you think? If I said, give me the one key, is it assist to turnover rate? Is it turnovers? I mean, what do you see as the biggest factor here coming up in the second half?
Well, I think it's two. I mean, assist to turnover ratio has got to get a lot better, and making free throws. They're going to get to the line, especially Fox. So make your free throws. I think if you do those two things, you're going to have a chance to win, because I'm confident they'll play better defense. I mean, I'm confident the game is going to get a little more physical and tight. So that's why I think, 120 points will win this ball game.
Pelicans went to the line 14 times. They made 11, and the Kings 13 of 16. What did you think will win the game? What total?
I think probably 120 will win it.
Okay.
And so it's just a matter of how you get there.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to start playing some better defense. I mean, because the Pelicans will get there before you do if you don't
Yeah,
play
they
some
got a head
defense.
start. Yeah,
All
60
right.
times easier to get there.
Hey, we still talk about that with this team. I guess the record is the record, and the record's good at 11-7, and the home record is good at 6-2. And so we're nitpicking here, but I keep on talking about this because the fans want to see this team get to the next level, and the next level is winning a playoff series, and it's just very hard to do that when you're giving up so many points.
Yeah, it really is, and especially against some of the teams you're going to have to play in the playoffs. In other words, this is a good test here because the Pelicans have already beaten you twice, but they don't figure to be higher than, ninth, 10th, 11th. That's where they kind of factor in. So, yeah, it's a great test, and you just simply have got to kind of find a way to get better defensively. You hit it. I mean, you've got to get 5, 6 points better on the defensive end, or you're not going to be able to take that next step.
I know you always like the point differential stat, and it's only relevant once you get through, a decent portion of the season, which now we're in the upper teens. Some teams have played 19, like Minnesota and Oklahoma City have played 19. Denver's actually past that. They played 21. But here's the point I made to Ryan the other night. Of the top 10 teams, all right, in the West right now, there are only 2 teams out of those 10 that have a negative point differential. One is Sacramento and the other's Lakers. I mean, those numbers don't lie.
No, they don't. I mean, that's why, if this continues, if at the 40 or 50 game mark and it's still that way, then there's no reason to be confident you're going to be high in the standings because
Yeah,
that's one of those things that holds up over time. If you've got a 6 or 7 point differential in your favor, you're going to win 55 games, 50
that's right.
or thereabouts. And if you're 2 or 3 points under that, you're going to win 37-38. And that's
There you have it,
something
folks.
along those lines.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's a concerning stat at this point,
Yep.
I think.
Jerry, appreciate you joining us here at halftime. Enjoy the second half.
I hope to. I really hope to. So good luck on the post game. But
Thank you.
yeah. Well, plenty of time. We saw a huge comeback against
Yeah.
the Clippers. Didn't work. Huge comeback against the Warriors. It did. Need to come back now.
Thanks, Jared. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye-bye. All right, so good stuff from Jerry Reynolds. Don't forget, right here, post-game show. Join me. Looking forward to it. A lot of basketball left, but right now it's 69-61 Pelicans. Talk to you in a little over an hour.